All right, so this segment is not going to be as long as the previous one, and we're going to talk about a bit softer things of life. So, Dele, you've heard everything that was said over the last hour plus, but something that comes to my mind and something that wraps my head all the time is this economy seems to be working on a macro level, right? But on a micro level, it's probably not working. So is this an economy that is making the rich people richer and poor people poorer? Isn't that what we're seeing?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, because it kind of feels like people who have money keep getting richer. Like, Arnold is richer than he was last year. Like, Arnold is doing things this year that he wasn't doing last year. Tunji is doing a lot more things. What's going on exactly?
I'd argue this, right? So, are you richer if you're a salary earner?
Yeah.
I don't think people are, if we look at people's net worth on a salary basis, no one's salary has grown at the rate at which the currency has devalued. So either
that's why I said rich people.
So we've all probably lost money.
Yeah.
Right? There's probably a 3% that have
increased value,
that have made money. Right? So if you either work in treasury of a bank or you do oil and gas or you do something special situation.
No, but Tumba, you're spending more now than I saw you before. You're richer.
How do you know I'm richer?
I know more.
Or you just had
those who know you know
habits of increase.
So what exactly is that mean?
So I don't go
what
out.
Has happened
I don't go out
differently?
as much as I used to go out.
Age, that's age.
No, but I think generally though, wealthy people tend to buy assets.
So let me.
So what's the design?
Let me put a prognosis, right?
Yeah.
So my kids are around for the summer, and I think obviously my family lives in Abu Dhabi, and this was the first time that I had to basically run my household at full capacity.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how is the man on the street surviving? Because what I'm spending on a weekly basis just to even keep the house running,
bro, it's ridiculous.
It's out of control. From feeding, from diesel to power. You know, because whenever I'm around, it's just me. So I'm just like living like a bachelor, right?
Yeah.
But in the last 3 weeks, it's been like
groceries
times 10. So clearly, it's tough on the market, and you have to make that kind of decision to say, you know what, where are we going to make those cuts, right? So if you love to fly business, are you considering some economy and some business, right? You have to make adjustments, right? So you want to live a false life or your money is bottomless, but you know everybody has to just really cut their coat to their side.
So Arnold, what kind of adjustments have you made so far? Any adjustments at all? Or have you adjusted upwards or downwards?
Downwards, man. I mean, like, for example, I used to fly British Airways, now I fly Air Peace. Right. So, right. So, like,
is that a downward adjustment?
It is downward, right? Because you're buying your tickets in naira, no longer pounds, right? So I think everyone has had to adjust that. Yeah, I mean, I've adjusted. Everyone's adjusted. But I mean, going back to, I genuinely believe that in terms of the wealth gap, so let's use the word wealthy and not wealthy. So wealthy people tend to buy assets, and asset prices have gone up, and that's generally what causes this divide. Is asset prices go up, bond prices on a mark-to-market have gone up, have gone up, treasury bills have gone up, stock prices have gone up, heck, even real estate prices have gone up, right? So if you're a salary earner, unfortunately, your wage growth won't match inflation, but if you're an equity holder, you're up 70% in 9 months.
Like Sam,
right? So that's what you're seeing is asset prices have gone up. So yes, so in that sense, that wealth gap is there, but we will have to make adjustments.
Tuji, what adjustments have you made?
I think I made my own adjustments way early. So I made my own adjustments around 2015.
So you're not
2016. No. What I'm saying is that so the adjustments
so you're
are
not adjusting right now. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not adjusting now.
So the
adjustments have been done.
It's happened.
Wow. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that. So for instance, like the import substitute, substitution you do on your household items.
Yeah.
I did that in 2015, 2016, 2017. All the like.
So are you buying Biggie Cola now? It's like if you instead of Coke, you
So
buy
I
Biggie
don't
Cola.
even.
That's Biggie
I don't
Cola.
even drink.
You don't know
any
what
of
Biggie
them.
Cola is?
You know Biggie Cola is.
Elite.
I don't
You know Biggie Cola.
I
You know,
do.
you know what Biggie Cola is.
So,
Biggie Cola, of course, I know what the
So
Biggie
is that-
Cola is.
did you- would
so
you
I
bu-
don't do that. But for instance, like cereal. Oh, that's a bad example because
But we're seeing that a lot of Nigerians
Very bad
tend to. We're seeing a lot of Nigerians tilt more towards locally made stuff.
Yes.
Than foreigner. Like people are now very
like British
like
Airways
yes,
piece. Yeah.
exactly.
So let me. I'm in e-commerce. So
Yeah.
at the truth is that market is in a mess.
What market now?
e-commerce.
E-commerce, consumer.
Why
Right.
is it in a mess?
The margins there are close to. Depending on the month, the margins are very low.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, consumer space. So you typically see that margins are somewhere around. If you came into the market in 2020, margins were around 7-9%. Today, margins in the consumer space for the things that I'll say dry goods, which is the things that people eat every day, which is pasta, noodle, margins there are somewhere around 2-3%.
So why is that happening?
And that's because there's been inflation, there's been exchange rates hikes.
Yeah, people can't.
People just it's just this. People right now, what you find is that there's been a relatively good harvest, so people are moving into let's eat yam, let's eat
Yes.
gari. So in the last few years, we actually had very bad harvest because of the floods, right? This year you've had fairly good harvest where some of these produce have hit the market, so people are staying away from the noodles and the pasta.
Yeah.
And then you also find that there's a lot of investment that goes into purchasing between October and December. So people
True.
overtrade. Now, what you found is that a lot of market overtraded going into December with hopes that we will sell it all. Now, what happened is that you didn't sell everything all in December. What happened in January, February is you have to, because if you're doing manufacturers, you have a sales target you have to meet. Okay.
Yeah.
That would unlock X amount of rebates for you.
Yeah.
Now, because you can't sell
Sell
those goods,
everything.
so people start discounting those products to say, you know
Yes.
what, I'll sell at 0%, just give me volume.
Just give me volume. Yeah. So
So there's a
let me just
volume
move these
conversation.
things.
I will piss away the
Yeah.
margin and I would turn over my money and get new products. So if you actually do go to the distributor level in the market, you see that things are not pretty.
So what are people buying now?
I mean,
Regular consumers.
people are still going to eat, right?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that even at the expensive or the low level, is that the customer is looking for the cheapest
Possible.
possible products. Saturation is a strategy.
Yes.
So maybe I should rephrase. So are you seeing more local products being consumed compared to foreign?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't deal with foreign. I don't sell foreign imported products, right?
Yeah.
That's probably a niche market, which is, I guess, the elite,
Yeah.
right? But I'm saying when you talk about the majority or 90% of the economy, is people will still buy. But I'm saying even within that locally made goods,
Yeah.
the margins are very tight.
Wow.
All right,
I would have thought the reverse.
I wanted to also ask, I mean, you guys, especially Arnold, you as well, Dilly, you interact a lot with a lot of like very high net worth individuals.
So
who
what are you
invest.
trying to say now? That, what is
You're
that?
informal
Yeah,
economy.
what you say?
You're an informal economy.
Let him land. Let's where it's going. Let's where it's
I don't
going.
even
Let me
understand.
cook.
yeah.
Tunji makes
Now
money
we're
from
cheating now,
like
bro.
the
Now we're
very.
cheating.
Tunji makes money from the very.
I'm probably on the streets more than Tunji.
But that's
Anyway,
you do a lot of hiding. So I just want to know, what are rich people buying? What are rich people investing in right now? Like where are they making money now? Because sometimes, like when you follow a lot of rich people, like ultra rich people, and what they're doing, where the money is going to, it kind of gives you an idea of where to put your money in. So where are they still in real estate locally, or is it like where? What are they doing?
I'm not rich, so I can't. I don't know if
Yeah, your friends. What are they doing?
Nobody believed that, right?
we have a few of them in the.
You should ask them what they're doing.
in
What
the
do you guys
audience.
buy?
Exactly. We should actually interested in which guys in the audience. I think one of the key store of value is real estate.
Yeah.
That would always be something that people would do. I'm a big believer in I think right now in the market, go for luxury. So go for the high end of, if you're going to buy in London, go for Knightsbridge. Or as much as go as much to central London as you can.
As you can.
Because the truth is, you probably might be able to save value as much as possible. And the market I'm comfortable with is UAE, right? In that market, if you probably bought a property 4 years ago, you'd easily be up 70-80% in the UAE, because there's a massive influx of people from Russia, Ukraine, London, coming to the Middle East. Because obviously there's a tax-free economy, right? Labor is cheaper, and the quality of life is generally better than anywhere else. Yeah. So you think that property prices are up 70%. Yeah. The question you then ask yourself is, what point does the
bubble bust,
or what breaks the spine, right? But I think that momentum will most likely hold going into the future, just going by what you're seeing globally, right? What's happening in the US, I think, some of places like UAE, for instance, now will still see and attract a lot of capital.
I know. What are people buying?
So in terms of investments, we're seeing, if I'm looking at habits from where I sit, generally, I think investments have just increased, right? If I'm looking at assets under management, so I spoke about AUM going up by almost AUM of the assets under management of the asset management industry in Nigeria. You're seeing AUM go by almost ₦1 trillion in a quarter. Asset managers, I'm sure, in the house can actually also testify to probably assets under management of each asset manager, almost of a lot of asset managers, almost doubling in the 6 months, 7 months into this year. And also you're just seeing, from where I'm sitting, I'm seeing a thirst and a drive for foreign assets, right? So even though you're seeing a stabilization of the currency, if I look year on year, I'm seeing more requests for what's going on in the US equities, especially with Trump. I'm still seeing a demand for foreign assets.
Interesting.
So I'm seeing foreign assets, and you're just seeing general investment. So I think that Nigerian citizens and Nigerian residents are actually thinking about investing more. If I'm looking at assets under management growing, they're thinking about investing more this year than last year, just in terms of the demand. So I think, and also on the equity side as well, you're seeing in the market, you're seeing volumes go up. I'm seeing a lot of people come in asking about or buying equities, buying stocks locally and foreign.
I think there might be some savvy play, because 2 years ago, the play was just buy dollars.
Yeah.
Now it's not a case where 100% of what I own will be in dollars, just dollarize. I think that play is kind of played out. So you might say, you know what, as long as I'm going to wear
interest bearing on the dollar,
to wear a Ralph Lauren shirt, right? 30% of my holding will still be in USD, right? Now you can put the other 30 in stocks,
T-bills,
whatever, you mix and match it. But I think that trade of just being dollars,
trade is
gone.
So isn't this a response to the question I asked Sam earlier? Like maybe this is what's driving asset prices up.
I actually do think that. So the buy and hold session, I think that the currency would definitely be lower than 1,500 by September.
So 1.4.
I think 1.4 is
Cheers.
It's just 12.
I'm buying more dollars of
So what are rich people investing in?
I don't know them all. At least all the rich ones here, I don't know any of them. So.
I mean, you have rich investors. So what are investors buying?
Well, to be honest with you, it also comes down to putting money into assets that can sweat locally. Because what I've realized, and for startups too, I've been telling startups, maybe you want to look internally to look for Naira. Because there seems to be a lot of Naira chasing where to go to. So if you were trying to raise, I don't know, $1 million via safes, via your Silicon Valley or Delaware company, maybe you want to look for Naira equivalent, which will be cheaper. The returns can also be manageable. And then you have some set of people that you can, manage locally. Naira is chasing businesses. So I think they're investing in real estate. There's a lot of buying of houses. But they're also looking for what kind of businesses to invest in. So, yeah.
Sorry to interject. There was a H&I who called me recently and wanted to buy wanted to get my view on an asset in Eco Atlantic. And I know a few guys who have assets there that they are developing, and they tell me that there's a lot of interest in buying, properties in Eco Atlantic, and these are properties that are going for like 500,000-600,000. So,
but you see, that's the thing, right?
That?
If you have, so the amount of liquidity you have that is just sitting there that needs to just be put into somewhere, you can't. So think about it. If you had, I don't know, 30 billion that you needed to just stash somewhere, and I'm not saying stash illegally, by the way. You made the money legitimately, and you just need to put it into something productive, right? And how many 150 million naira houses are you going to buy before you're done? Even if you buy one every week with all the DD, you really get tired. So if you find property like that, it just makes sense to buy 4 and you're done, right? So those kind of assets do make sense for people who have a lot of naira liquidity.
I think forgetting even the houses, right? I think there's an opportunity. There's a real opportunity now to own businesses. I think I know that has conversation to say, if you have the capital, now is the time to buy businesses. So if you look at that Diageo deal now, that was a steal of a lifetime.
Yeah.
For a company that was loss making last year, is profit making now.
That's Diageo buying. That's Diageo selling Guinness to Tolerant.
Exactly. There are pockets of these kind of deals.
Yeah,
that will be turning
up right now.
It's an opportunity. Unfortunately, a lot
Do
of
they
that
still exist now, though?
a few of those still exist.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, a lot of those things are being bought by Nigerian foreigners or locally based foreigners.
What does that mean?
Tolerant.
Being bought by
Nigerians of foreign origin.
Okay.
Exactly. Those opportunities, they exist and they're going to be massive. Which I think that, because if you look at the currency has devalued. The dollar equivalent of those assets, an absolute steal. So I think this is the funny thing is, I talk to my friends. And my friends are saying we should be buying banks. I mean, at our age, the likes of Ike and Herbert, were owning their own banks. We need to actually start thinking about how to own a bank.
To own a bank now, you need 250 billion naira. But let's move on to other things. I've also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, and sorry for folks, most of us live in Lagos. There's a difference in the way VI looks these days. So VI of maybe 10, 15 years ago used to be very, it's full of traffic. You didn't want to have an office in VI. You wanted to avoid VI by all means. But VI just has this sanity around it these days. And maybe because of the roads, I don't know. Ikoyi is also kind of, and then Lekki looks like a slum. What's going on? Like, what exactly is happening?
What part of Lekki? Because Lekki is
the part where you live, that your area.
Lekki is a broad.
Your area.
There's those parts about Ogun State that they still call Lekki.
I'm talking about Lekki Phase 1, basically. Like Lekki Phase 1, all the way to that second roundabout, right? And then I'm seeing people now saying that, look, I'm going to move my office from Lekki to VI. Because VI seems to be thinner in terms of the roads are better, less traffic. So what has happened in VI that, over the last 10 years that maybe just went under our radar? You're also seeing a lot more highbrow restaurants pop up. You're seeing high rises. Seems a bit more structured now than ever. So what has happened over the last?
I don't think VI has changed much as Lekki has deteriorated.
Really?
I think for me, I'll focus on the Lekki Expressway. I think that was a private PPP
Yeah.
that failed.
Yeah.
And ever since that deal got tanked, the maintenance on that road has been poor.
The access roads, the
I mean,
the
we're talking about
flooding-
like if you come to Admiralty Road today, Admiralty Road used to be like Allen of back then. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like Allen of maybe 20 years ago. Like real hustle and bustle. Like,
Yeah.
like at every turn, it's
Yeah.
a business property, right? VI doesn't have that ring, except maybe Agile.
I mean, I don't know. Let me ask, is it that I don't know what it looked like 10, 15 years ago, unfortunately, but I'm just assuming now because I guess as time goes on, it's getting a shape or a signature. Is it that VI is getting a signature of being a commercial district restaurants, offices, and then Lekki's residential? Is that what
Or
you're
maybe
saying
we
is
should just
happening?
ask the audience. Has everybody noticed anything different in VI? Because I've not seen it. But I have seen the differences in Lekki Sha. They have said
Is it
this.
Lekki's a slum?
No, Lekki is
so
really
I-
deteriorating. Lekki
Really,
is getting.
Lekki is a
I don't know. There's some chap. I mean, I get this message on Instagram. There's some chap on Instagram or whatever, like who's always slamming, like, real estate properties in Lekki and all that, and saying they're too expensive and blah blah. So I'm saying, what
the guy
does
that
it
shouts?
like?
No, not that one.
I don't know.
The guy
If
that
it's the same
shouts.
The guy that shouts.
Yeah, he kind of shouts though. Yeah,
He's
he kind of
in jail
shouts
right
as
now.
well.
Oh, is it the same guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
he
shouts.
kind of shouts as well.
No, but I think he's calling out. I don't want to do
So
that.
is it that we're seeing are they like at the property values in Lekki, are they overvalued today? Should those valuations remain as it is now?
I think
like a
developers
plot
are
of land in
just
Lekki now is going for like
developers are
maybe
just
450.
dollarize their.
Yeah. That's
They
the
don't
problem.
really care what the implications are, and I think it only means that the demand remains,
still there.
It's still there.
Yes.
Because if the demand is not there, you will adjust your
you would
prices.
adjust your prices
accordingly.
downwards, yeah.
But what's happened is that if dollar goes up by X amount, the price of my property goes up by X amount.
But you still see people continue to buy it.
the biggest
question is-
issue
Yeah, but I
is-
also think that we need to start calling out standards, right? And it's also what it is.
I mean,
The
there's a
standards
question
are quite poor, and then
around
it's-
standards, right? Very valid. Even the one that is worse, there was that tweet yesterday about make sure your landlord does not have, make sure your rent is not your landlord's only source of income. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, landlords are increasing rent by 100%, 120%,
Yeah.
150%, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying is, I don't see how people are affording these things, but somehow the
People are affording it.
They're affording it.
So don't you guys
I don't
see?
get it
Don't you
either.
guys see a connection between higher land values or property values and commercialization? Because I kind of feel like if you live in a neighborhood where property values are extremely high and there is no, maybe local government or
managing it and stuff like that.
put some sort of
Rent control.
not even rent control, maybe land control or some sort of regulation around how those properties are sold. Don't you think that that's why you're seeing a lot of residential apartments being turned commercial, even in areas where it should ordinarily be residential? And that's basically what has happened to Lekki today. So with those land prices going up, developers don't have a choice but to convert, to buy that property, turn it into some sort of, either they turn it into an office apartment or a hotel or a restaurant or a high rise.
So the gym I go to, they had a Lekki branch, which is where I used to use. But they then sent a message out sometime about 2 months ago saying they wanted to renovate the place. So I started going to the Ikoyi branch, right?
I saw your video.
So there's trainers come to Ikoyi and they're working out and they're helping people out. So I'm like asking, okay, when would you guys open up again? And then the guy tells me, let me just be
Honest.
with you, right? That our landlord in Lekki has been increasing the rent like every month, every year. and now he's asking for like close to 40 or over 40 million.
40
a year. 40 million.
Million, okay.
And I'm thinking, yo, how much in gym prices must you be able to charge for you to be able to pay 40 million
So
excluding
they've shot,
power?
they've shot the Lekki branch.
So they shot the Lekki branch.
Wow.
But he had been increasing it every year for the last maybe 5-6 years till they just couldn't handle it anymore. And they just said, you know what? But then they are saying the alternative even around, if you were going to go and get a new place in the same Lekki environment, the cheapest you will get is still 30 million.
So what would you guys? So if you were to invest in the property now, you had a choice: Lekki, VI, Ikoyi, Aja, Ikeja, GRA, Sam Shonibar. Where would you be buying? Why would you be buying land?
I think Ikoyi, and I actually would play for Ikeja as well.
Yeah. Ikoyi,
Ikoyi because there's no land available. There's no land available, which is why you see there's a lot of islands that are emerging. There's Orange Island, there's Pineapple Island.
But what are rental yields like, right? So for me, if I was investing, I look at rental. Because
rental yields. Rental yields in Nigeria.
So it has to be. So, but I haven't done the numbers, but what are rental yields like in Ikeja versus in Ikoyi?
Rental yields in Nigeria usually.
I know they're low.
It's subjective.
Between 8-10%, basically. So,
That's
but
high.
my question is that if you're going to, which is pretty even high, if you had a chance to leave somewhere, right? Someone comes and says, Judas Berger comes and says, "Oh, Tunji, we like you so much. I want to build a house for you." Where would you rather build a house? Lekki, VI, Ikoyi, Ikeja, GRA?
Ikoyi first, slight Ikeja, GRA next.
Only one place is where they will build for you. Where would you want them?
I actually would take VI.
You take VI as residential?
Because there are all these clothes, VI, there's this like clothes.
Yeah.
That kind of
clothes.
that clothes. I would take that in VI.
Yeah.
That's not Ikoyi.
I don't know.
I mean,
Have you guys been to Ikeja, GRA recently though?
I haven't.
Ikeja, GRA. No, Ikeja is nice. Ikeja is
Billy only
nice.
goes to Ikeja when he has to leave the country now. So
Anyway, so let's pivot quickly into lifestyle. So one thing that I've always wondered is how do we manage work life balance, right? So for those who know me very well, like my own work life balance is table tennis. Like I played that.
I was your tennis coach.
I know there are some people here who.
Wow. They say you're balanced.
Anyway, so what's work-life balance for you? Like we work too hard. I mean, I've seen a lot of people drop down and all that. So how do you balance this quest for money and all that with?
Personally, I like holidays.
You like what?
Holidays.
Yeah.
Take a week off to
De-stress.
go somewhere where, and then I think one of the things that I struggled with many years ago was even when I'm on holiday, I'm replying emails.
Yeah.
But you see, one of the things that I learned working for, I guess, a more formal company is you would get these 2 weeks in a year, which is like compliance. So if you reply any email in that 2 weeks, you get a compliance flag or you get a query.
No, repeat that.
So when you work for like big multinationals, right, you have 4 weeks of holidays, but you must take what you call a compliance or sort of
Because they need to go through
a
your,
firm
they need to go through your
2 week holiday.
computer to see what you've been
Just
doing.
to see that,
Just
to be
to show
sure
that-
that when you're out, the work goes on.
Exactly what goes on, and if there's any fraud
You
in the
haven't done
system,
anything yet, so they go through your
they can
systems to
find.
make sure.
So if things, so if you're obviously covering up frauds or
Trades that
anything
you-
dodgy, they should be able to find it out in that 2 weeks.
2
So
weeks.
you can't call clients, you can't reply emails, you can't contact anyone in the office. You must go dark for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And I think getting to that sort of work culture, just realize that even in my holidays, I try to find a way where I'm just sort of blocking off that 1 week, or at least block up some days where I'm not replying, or I only check my emails once a day. But I found out that before then, even when I'm on holiday, I'm constantly replying emails. or I'm constantly doing something.
I didn't know you could be on holiday without checking emails. Wow.
Yeah.
So
that would be one way to
holiday
do
for
it.
you?
For me, yes.
I know what's yours, even though
So I've taken on a healthier lifestyle this year. So for me, the best way is it's just been working out. I've just been working out. I realized that exercise is the best. Should I use the word drug? Exercise in terms of just after stress or whether it's just overworking or depression or whatever it is. I've just found that exercise has just been so helpful. So for me, it's just exercise more than holidays, because even when I go on holiday, I can never stop. I'm still sending out an email, but when I go for a run, I leave my phone at home. When I'm in the gym, I leave my phone at home. When I play golf, so I started playing golf aggressively this year. My phone is in the car, so you can't reach me for like 3-4 hours while I'm on the golf course. And I found that taking on a healthier lifestyle has really helped with work-life balance massively, and I recommend it. So for me, that's something that has worked massively in my favor. It's helped me to be more productive at work, and also socially, it's helped me to be more productive as well.
Tunji?
This is where I now sound like a workaholic, and it's not good. So I think it started to become more important to me early this year, or after the first quarter. I had pretty much what was close to a burnout. So I'm now taking deliberate attempts to really de-stress. Working out used to be my exit, but I have now taken workout seriously.
I know what you mean.
I now taking workout seriously.
Now it's stopped being fun.
It's now not fun anymore. It's now like
stop being fun.
Like
but you still have to make it fun, right? Sorry, because golf was the same. I started to mark my scores, and I would have a bad day, and then it's like, you know what, just have fun.
So, for instance, if you're at my gym, by the way, if any of you are in my gym, if you're lifting anything and I'm around you, just know I'm going to lift something heavier. It's just subconscious. I don't know how I do it, but I would just lift something heavier. So it stopped being fun. But I'm learning and trying to de-stress. So taking more holidays with the family, just try to spend more time with my kids, just to be able to be there more. But yeah, it's really a struggle. I won't not lie, it's a struggle.
All right, that's good for you guys.
How about you?
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, me?
You don't have work-life balance.
I mean, I'm not asking questions. So there's a little thing that I do, though. I mean, I don't know what you guys want to call that, but it's something that I do once in a while. Right, so maybe once in 6 weeks or once in 3 weeks. Oh, jeez. Anyway, so I get home, and maybe I get home like 7, and then I basically read the Riot Act. I don't want anybody to disturb me, and then I turn off my phone. I call it a reset, and then I just crash, and then I sleep till like 4.
Isn't that
a.m. Yeah, from like 7 to like 4 a.m.
Okay.
Like basically just sleep till like 4 a.m. Like, right, and then I wake up and I start working from there on.
You see, that's when it shows you a workaholic, when you have to actually prioritize sleep. Like you are taking time to sleep.
But that's how I was about to say. Isn't that normal? Isn't that what everybody does? Everybody sleeps after work.
Yes, he said it very seriously. Like I was going to
Everyone
sleep.
sleeps. So like, I don't understand.
This is just prejudice because I explain it different. Anyway, let's just move on to something else. So I wanted to find out from you guys 2 more things before we leave. Penultimate is like the last 5 years, or maybe the last 2 years, maybe not 5, the last 2-3 years has been hell for startups. Investing wise, it's been terrible. Like I've got my own fair share of mad haircuts, crazy haircuts. A lot of us here have had haircuts, but nevertheless, I mean, there's always that quest to seek alpha, right? So you want to invest in a startup because you think that this is probably going to be some retirement investment down the line and all of that. So just curious to know from you guys, right, and maybe the audience as well, are there maybe startups that you're investing in, and you're investing in any startup, what lessons have you learned from the past that you're like implementing? And so, for example, for me, anybody who comes to pitch startup to me that is not making money already, like I don't see I don't see any kind of
PBT.
like not even maybe. Let's even leave PBT out. Like you don't have customers that you're selling to, like actually selling to, right? Like not proven. So meaning that the money you're looking for is just maybe to sort of build, like drive that volume. I ain't putting no dime in it.
But I mean, listen, it's not only startups. So how Ghana also gives some of us a haircut, and Ghana is not a startup.
I know, but I'm talking startups now. So what startups are you looking at, and what are those things that you're looking at now? Because I mean, before you were like burn rate, like how much money are you spending? Right? That was typically what was the benchmark. I always thought that thing was crazy though. Yeah, like how much money are you burning every month?
But you think
so what is it now that we're looking at?
It's very simple. I think we try and take this stock market philosophy into tech investing. The truth is, what is a tech startup? It is a hypothesis that you need to prove.
Yeah.
That it actually works or doesn't work. Now, so you can decide at what point you want to invest in that
hypothesis,
that
journey. That's
so you're investing at the very early stage, which is that I would help you build the business, which is I will give you money to go and look for the customer. Right? Some guys will come in at the point where we're looking for the customer, we're trying to ramp up. Now, but as you're ramping up, the question you ask is there unit economics for what we're doing? Now, the thing with startup is that because you're trying to steal market share from the traditional businesses,
you spend
there's a lot of freebies that you throw the customer way to ensure that you bring in the customers and you hope the customers are sticky with you. Now, after you do that, you then say, okay, how do I then get these customers to pay me full price for what I'm trying to offer? That's where the question of whether it works or doesn't work. Will the customer pay you full value for the service you're offering or not? If the answer is no, then I guess you then start looking at burn rate, and at what point you run out of capital, or are there value-added services that you need to add on to get those customers to then think about doing business with you and then paying you for the service that you're offering. Yeah. So you just need to define what your risk criteria is or what your appetite is, right? But this whole philosophy about wanting to invest in a risk-free tech play is honestly smokes and mirrors. I mean, and number two is, unless you're doing AI today, AI is probably the only thing today that if you put in a pitch deck on the table, someone is ready to fund that idea, right? That's where sort of money is going into, right? The sort of other, I think like we're talking about fintech, like or payments, that is saturated, right? And that's a lot you see in the Africa ecosystem, right? So AI is sort of the future where you raise money without actually having a product, yeah. Right? But you have to define where you want to play. I know.
I mean, one thing that
I know there's one you complain about, like that you invested in, but let's not go there. But
yeah, there's quite a few. But one thing that there's quite a few. But I think one thing that that my experience has taught me is I know that I don't know, right? And it's like I think I've accepted that I might not be a good early stage investor, and I'm okay with that now. And for me, it's like pre-revenue. I don't want to hear pre-revenue. If you're not making money, don't come to me. And unfortunately, that's my view. And I'm happy to pay.
That sounds like Sam's view.
Yeah, I'm happy to pay a premium for growth stock. It's like, okay, I missed you pre-revenue, but at least I'm coming now that price times volume equals this, and this is what you're making. And that's where I am. So for me, I'm comfortable with being a growth investor. Because it's early investor stuff for me. There are better early stage investors out there, like Dele or Samson than I am, or even Labi. But for me, it's come to me when you're growth, when you're making money, you've been running for a while. I can see where you are, and then I can also see where the market is going.
Let's hear Labi's opinion on this, though. Please, Mike to Labi, please.
Mike to Labi, please.
Let's hear Labi's opinion on this. Mike to Labi. What's the mic?
Where's the mic?
Mike, I've lost. My name is Moyo, and I work as an accountant at a small business in Lagos. My kids have a nickname for me, Iron Lady. They say I'm always so strict with money and finances. They like to spend, and I like to save. So imagine my surprise when I overheard my kids talking about investing and putting aside money. I joined in on the conversation, and they showed me the Bamboo app and their own portfolios. I was shocked. So I asked them to help me download and sign up. I was worried. I started investing a bit too late. But with Bamboo, I've learned it's never too late to start investing. My goal right now is to leave a very, very healthy portfolio for my children to inherit. Don't tell them I said that.
Pleasure to be here. I've enjoyed the discussion. Very rich. I do disagree with both of you. Obviously. on not liking pre-revenue companies. Therein lies the opportunity. When you back a company before they have revenues. But at the same time, fundamentally, the companies you're backing, also the venture capital investors who back these companies or angels, at the same time, they expect each of these companies to be able to do 20 times or 30 times return. The same time, they also expect 80% of their portfolio or 70% to be zero and not give a return. So it's this paradox you're constantly dealing with. But when you succeed with the company, you do get that 20 or 30 times that returns your fund over a couple of times, or even higher than that. But in terms of, things to look for, yes, pre-revenue can be a measure. Very critically, I think who you're backing, what experience do they have? Are they somewhat trustworthy? Are they capable? Will they manage the business in a sort of responsible manner? Many times also I found, sometimes I would back some businesses because I thought I knew the industry or like that sector. But I think who you back is even more important. Sometimes you don't really even know what they're doing, but they make it work. So it's back to the importance of the person. Then I think the other thing is just, as you back it, will they, the other co-investors alongside you, are they able to keep bringing capital to continue investing? Because sometimes you also end up in this halfway house where, the existing investors can't continue to back it, and it's not sweet enough for someone new to come in. Yeah. Then you have K-leg and a problem. So that's, and then, which then comes next to, as an early investor, you typically want to be able to exit sooner. So you need those other investors to typically come and take you out. You may go for the whole ride, but usually you want to come out a little sooner. And then those who can put the deeper pockets and potentially go all the way will back those companies.
Well, what's exit? What's the for an early investor? What's the exit window now? Has this shrunk, or is this?
It's shrunk. So when it comes to exits or raising capital, people always look, okay, what are my terms? What are this? Usually I first tell them, okay, this tickets. Then, okay, let's see the terms and what are you really dealing with? So opportunities to exit tend to be few and far between. So when you see them, take them very seriously because they can almost be binary. It's not, oh, you wake up today and I'll choose this exit at this time. Usually, again, in line with a lot of your discussions earlier, you need enough things in your favor. You need the macros moving in your favor that you've discussed at length. You need the micros specifically on that company or industry, again, moving in your favor. And then you need investor interest also moving in your favor. So you need these three things, which to have all at once tends to be quite difficult. So if you find the opportunity, hit it.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, Labi. By the way, Labi is a partner at Kurama Capital. Check them out. One of the largest investment company in Nigeria. Thank you so much. All right, so I just want to. What was that?
I think Bjorn has.
Bjorn want to say something? Oh, please give Bjorn. Go ahead, Bjorn.
First of all, I want to say this has been so
It's mic on.
inspiring, right?
Thank you.
Inspiring. And I love the conversations we're having. So I want to drop this one. For Nigeria, right? When you look at where we are in our development, and if we're going to be honest about it, right? I love what fintech has done for us as a country. In terms of our payments, our ability to invest in the US markets like Bamboo does, general efficiencies, right? It's done a lot for us. But let's look at the reality on the ground. And where should we be investing, right? Our roads are bad, right? Every time we drive on our roads here, right, one of us has to go to the mechanic the next day, right? We have security issues. We're unable to move our food from the farms, right, to the shelf, right? Every time something goes bad in my house and I have to call somebody to come and fix a bulb or something, it's somebody I do not know who has not been vetted, right? We have people who have children. They're trying to get nannies. It's a big deal, right? We have invested a lot in fintechs, right? I think we now have to shift for all of us here, we have to shift where we are moving our investments to things that actually solve a real problem in our economy. Because the problems that fintech solve for us, right, in Nigeria are not the biggest problems we have, right? And I think you guys have such a great platform, right? And we need to start to talk about private equity in a Nigerian way. Nigeria is a very peculiar space. And we have to find a way to move capital, right, to things that are actually productive for us. We have a big problem with unemployment in Nigeria. Fintech is not going to solve that. It's going to make it worse, right? So, as you know, we look at the model that has been developed, that we have used in Nigeria that has built so many great fintechs. We have to move it. We have to figure out a way to move it to the real sector. One of the things that amazes me in Nigeria is the fact that now we're wearing the clothes that we make. So the jacket I'm wearing was made in Nigeria. Dilly's pants are local. And we're doing a lot of that now, right? But we need to continue to move our capital to those things, not just by patronizing them, but by actually investing in those industries that are relevant to us. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that, Biodo. I was looking for Chuma, but I think he's left. I wanted him to chime in on your point because one of the things that he's doing is also solving problems. I think that's also what Dilly is doing. But guys, let's go to the last topic quickly. And I wanted us to touch on personal finance because a lot of the guys who watch Drinks and Mics all ask questions around personal finance. And so personal finance, of course, is how you guys, spending money, saving money in this sort of economy, investing. So if you were to advise someone, I know you probably need a lot of time to do that, but let's say if you advise someone, ballpark advice, spending, saving, investing, what would that be?
So,
respectively.
Again, someone asked me that question some weeks ago. What would you have done differently? And my answer was, the day I became an analyst, I would save a portion of my income in what is the de facto currency. So that's USD. That can change tomorrow to something else. But I'm saying is, because I live in an emerging market, and you go and analyze any currency, emerging markets from 2004 to now, the likelihood is that all those currencies have devalued. So there's a portion of my income that I would put in what is, that global economy, global currency, right? Yeah. And I'm trying to say it's not USD because USD now is likely to devalue. So, that would be. I'm saying, imagine I was buying dollars at 100. in 2004 and sort of saved till now, that would be protection of my income, right?
Yeah.
So the portion of that to go into that. I think some of it would be equity, and I will put some in fixed income.
Okay. So that's saving and investing. So
yeah,
spending.
and then spending.
Yeah, like how do you spend wisely now?
How do you spend wisely? Was that a good shit? I mean, spending wisely.
So for me, it's basically spend now, save later. But I mean, like, what's yours?
Yeah.
No, so okay, I'll give you an example. So people wanted to buy cars maybe 5-10 years ago, 7 years ago. And the question was, oh, the car is too expensive. Why are you buying now? You should wait. And the truth is, I found that a car you bought for 20 million naira in 2017 is selling for 150 million today.
It's incredible.
So for me, I found that I bought a car back then. It was actually a store of value for me because the price I bought that car at the time, when I sold it, I actually sold it for the same price I bought it 5 years ago.
Isn't that anomaly?
Eh? It's a lot, but I actually did, and I think it was at the point I sold it, I told the guy, listen, I bought this car, I didn't use it, it's parked 80% of the time, I'm only taking USD for it. But I can tell you this is the service history, whatever, and he paid me cash dollars for it. So essentially I exited that position.
As you went in.
Whole,
yeah.
Arnold? Personal finance.
Personal
Tips.
finance.
I know you spend a lot of your money on cigars, though, but I mean, I don't know.
So I recently got introduced to this young man in his late 20s, and he just blew me away, man. This guy, UK based, and he was asking me for investment advice. This guy already has a property, and I was like, man, in my 20s, I spent everything. I spent everything in my 20s, and I was like, man, I wish I thought like you. But listen, I mean, if the way I see it is, any inflow that one gets, they should at least put 50% away and then spend 50%. And that 50% away, and that 50% has been put away. What I try to do is...
Is that possible in this kind of economy?
It is, man. It is.
It's not.
It
I know.
is.
That's
It
elitist.
is.
I think that's elitist.
It is, man. It is. It
Like,
is.
what sort of
It
salary
is.
levels are you talking about? What sort of income levels are you talking about here?
Exactly. That's a very
I
elitist
don't know,
position.
but it's no, but there's a strictness that one needs to have, right? Where there's a part that's good because if you're able to buy certain assets, especially bonds or dividends, you can actually get income from some of this stuff. And I'm big on passive income. I'm huge on passive income, and it's possible. And with savings, especially when you have when you can get fixed deposit rates in the 20%. Right? Why not park some cash in a fixed deposit rate that will actually make you up to that? You can get bond yields at 20%. You can get bond yields at 20%. Coupons. Why not do that? So for me, that's how what I try to do is I try to really buy high dividend stuff, high coupon stuff, and then there's also trading. I'm big on trading. I'm big on trading futures. I'm big on trading options as a method of income.
Can I throw in something?
Yeah.
I guess we're probably on the same. We all married and we have children and we have wives and all of that. No. The way I look at it is, we have responsibilities. But I feel like for every,
don't marry me off.
If you find a way where you can tie one of your obligations to an asset. So
yeah, 100%.
if you had a child whose school fees was X, and you had an asset that would pay for that child's school fees or expenses, that would be one way to think about it.
Sounding elitist. You're looking at somebody who's just a salary earner. Like, what asset?
Yeah, but listen, this is not something to be done overnight.
It's not overnight. That's the way I think about it.
Overnight.
In hindsight, I want to tie my child today to an asset that would pay.
That child's maybe university or something like that.
So whatever. And the day he becomes 21, I would tell him, this is if it's crypto, this is the
Go. Do what?
This is the crypto
Figure it out.
this is the
Figure it out.
crypto
Done.
that sends you
Yeah.
to school, or this is the property that that's
I'm done.
That would be an
Yeah.
ideal world for me. So that again, it's an ideal world. What I'm saying is, I'd like to look for an asset
Achievable.
that would pay for that liability.
Tunji?
So I don't know how to say my own side to everybody here, because I realize that my own experiences are fairly unique. So every hustle, I basically had to hustle myself. I'm not saying I'm self-made, but there was no fallback. There was no, if I didn't make the money, it didn't come. So my thinking really around saving investments, what you said, save, investment, spend.
Yeah.
It's difficult to do any of the three if you don't have the money to do it. Right? So Yoruba people say that the money that is not there, Dedi cannot take it. Sorry if you don't understand Yoruba, because I cannot explain it. It's just very complex. But it just says, if you don't have the money, there's nothing you can do about the issue. What I did that I think is maybe unique to somebody like me is, no, seriously. It's completely invest everything on myself and build the capacity to be able to earn eventually. So when I missed on the first wave of this, the second wave of that, it's not as if I didn't know that we can put money here and make 25%. But when there's no money, you just be looking at it. you just be looking at it. I hate that I'm this vulnerable. But but the thing about it is that I doubled down on myself, basically backed myself completely. And eventually, when I was able to earn small money, then I could go back to those assets and grow. So it's a later stage. The question applies to me at later stage. But if anybody's watching this and you are at the point where you don't have, there's no fallback, there's no backup, it's just you, family, there's no and there's no cash, and maybe your salary doesn't take you home, I just tell you, invest in your ability to be able to earn more. Just keep investing
definitely.
in your ability to be able to earn
Build
more.
human capital.
Build human capital.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll be able to answer this question. But right now, between you and I, we know that this
Still
question is
build
not
human
for.
Fair enough.
All right. So if I was to chime in, I think for me, if you're going to save, I would always say in Nigeria, you want to save in dollars. I really don't care what the exchange rate is. So long as you're in an emerging economy. Yes. I mean, I'm bullish Naira, but so long as you're in an emerging economy, so long as you're in a third world economy, you always want, if you really have disposable income to save, I would always say save in dollars. Now, in terms of investing, my approach is always, it depends on your age, like where you are in life, right? So if you're younger, if you're in your 20s, it would always be invest in yourself. You got to invest aggressively in yourself, because the investment in yourself is always going to pay off for you later. At least you're alive to enjoy it now. So when you die, at least, right? So always going to invest at a younger age. And when you're much younger as well, I think it makes a lot of sense to take a risk. One of the lessons that I've learned, that if I come back in this life, is when you see an investment opportunity that caters to young people, like a lot of young people just like that. Like it's very sticky with young people. It often pays off hugely. Whether it was comics of back in the days that has now turned out to blockbuster movies, or whether it is ice cream or Coke, or whether it is even cryptocurrency, so long as it's very sticky with a lot of young people who actually find value in those things, somehow it always pays off. That's what I've always thought as well. That's something that I've learned. So like if you're in your 30s you're getting to your early 30s, the lesson here as well is you got to be in a position where you can own a property. Like, you got to be able to own a property before you're 40 at least. Now, the reason is that when you're past 40, then it starts to become a lot more difficult because property ownership in a sane world is mortgage, right? And they look at number of years that you have. And retirement age globally is usually 60 or 65. So you got to look at those things.
So they be like,
And in the capitalist economy, right, which we are gradually creating here, people got to realize that we're basically the economy you're going to see in the next 10 years is not the economy that you saw 10 years ago. You're going to see an economy that's a semblance of maybe what you have in China or maybe what you have in the US. That's sort of purely capitalist economy. So being able to own an asset would always be a major stepping stone to wealth creation. Like, no two ways about it. Because when you own an asset, let's say maybe in the UK or in the US or somewhere in Europe, then that just opens a whole lot of doors for you. Because with that asset, you can buy more assets, you can get more loans, you can invest in more companies. So in your 30s, your early 30s, that's going to be one major goal that you've got. So you invested in yourself in your 20s, you invested in risk assets that pays. Then in your 30s, you've got to be able to invest in real estate. And then one other lesson as well is, please, when we read Warren Buffett, don't be stupid. Because a lot of us read Warren Buffett so stupidly because you thought that everything Warren Buffett was saying was applicable here in Nigeria. It's not. Stupidly, no. When you buy an asset, hold it forever, and I lie. Not in Nigeria. Because there are a lot of assets that were bought here that if you held forever, you'll be dead. Right? So, and that's because the economy that we have here is completely different. So when you invest in an asset in Nigeria, you have to, like I see a lot of people invest in assets and they basically just forget about it. I don't buy them and then you're gone. You gotta invest, as you're invested in an asset, be vested in that asset as well. Like, understand the asset itself, what it means for you, why you're investing, your exit. Even if your exit is steady, you have to ask yourself, what's your exit in this asset? Like, what are you holding this asset for? When do you intend to sell it? Or what do you intend to make from this asset? Right? I think that's also something. And as you get into your 50s, like some of you guys here that are in your 50s, then you got to start thinking of things like, trust, wills. I have friends from families that they can't see each other eye to eye because their parents maybe willed assets to them, and you know what I mean. So I think we've got to start to think about things like that. And
actually, in your 40s, not even your 50s.
Even in your 40s. And the funny thing about the life that we live in now is we're now in a world where it's more digital assets, right? Because I'm asking myself, like, so you have all these crypto assets, that were bought years ago, and it's all stored in some wallet, maybe in MetaMask or some maybe offline wallet. But who knows about it? Like, your lawyer doesn't know about it. Your wife doesn't know about it. Your husband doesn't know about it. Your children don't know about it. So who knows about it? So if something happens to you tomorrow, what's going to happen to it? Or you have stocks in some portfolio somewhere with one stockbroker and nobody knows. What?
I said, I don't think you want your wife to know about it.
I'm just saying, like, so those are some of the things that, like, you've also got to start to think about now, because you're seeing a lot of those assets and then, like, you own them, but nobody knows that you own them. Anyway, so enough of my ranting. Finally, guys, what are those things that, you're buying, luxuries that, because I've seen a lot of people buy luxuries as assets these days. So I just want to, like, mentally, so what are those luxuries that you think that, what, I want to buy these as much as I want to enjoy it is also an asset, because people are like, women buy gold and end up selling it later, right? So for guys, what are those luxuries? Is it wristwatches? Is it an iPhone? Is it
Is
is it your shoes?
So I buy art, but I think it's the biggest scam, man.
Art is a scam?
It's a scam, but I have quite a bit of art.
You're
So
gonna
I
get
have a
dragged for that.
collection, right? So I started buying.
Maybe you're buying the wrong art.
I started buying art as an investment because one of my mentors is a huge art collector, and I worked under him for years, and I just got into art because of him. And for me, it was like an investment because I said to myself, you know, whenever I have liquidity issues, I can easily sell this thing. Man, when I had liquidity issues, I could not sell one thing, so I just have like. I have some art on the wall. Yeah, I have some art stored in somewhere in Accra. I've got some art in London because I was buying this thing thinking I'm gonna be able to sell
buying the
this
wrong
thing.
art, maybe.
And then it's like when it was time to sell some of this stuff, I'm calling Sotheby's in New York and they're telling me, yeah, you've got to now ship it to them to get it for appraisal. I can't afford to ship it. I'm trying to sell it because I need money. So but I mean, art is something that I buy or I bought. But I think I fell for a scam and I still try to buy when I can. And I keep falling for this scam. But art is something that
I'm talking about
that I buy.
I think
Rings.
I'm actually more of an experienced guy. So I actually spend more money on
experience.
things I want to experience, you know.
No, so I'm talking about like if there are things, like, Sam, are there things? Are you into art as well? So what luxury do you think you can buy that you can resell? What?
I'm not into anything that doesn't produce cash. If produce cash that I can value.
But there are people who buy wristwatches, people who buy wine. I met a guy once. I met a guy
apparently appreciates,
I met a guy
right?
last
It
December,
appreciates.
and he told me that his because I told him that I like to buy whiskeys and keep at home, and he says he's the biggest whiskey collector in Nigeria, and I'm like, how? He says he has houses in Lekki, one here, where he basically stores wine, whiskey, and stuff, and that if he values those things now,
Can he sell it?
Yeah, that's
Well-
always the question, right? So these are largely liquidity.
It's psychological, yeah.
Aspects, right? So yes, I like to protect the lead, but you need to find someone who wants to protect the lead at the time when you want to.
Really want to sell exactly same as art.
So
Yeah.
value of what to protect the lead is. If you take a protect in one shop, then they'll give you a massive discount. Right?
So I'm big on art. Or at least I've just. So I've always been big on art, but I've just only over the last couple of years been able to start affording to buy the small ones. But I generally understand that art is subjective, but it's also not liquid. So it's not like I can just
Seriously,
I can just take the art piece and just bring it in here and
but
say.
Otumba just said
who
now
can
that he
buy?
bought a car. Yes, I'm assuming it's a luxury
So
car.
a car is more
Car is
liquid than
more
art.
liquid than art.
Because the
Yeah.
value of the car is apparent to almost everybody.
Yeah.
The value of the art, right? You can bring a masterpiece into this room, and somebody who doesn't know any better would not know it's different from this art and a painting that was mass produced in a large size, right? So you need to be able to find the right kind of audience. And there are some circles that you go to that you'll be able to flip it instantly. So of course, if you want to get into art, you need to get into those circles. But art is one for me.
All right. I think we've basically just blown past our time. So I think I just want to use this medium to thank everybody for being a part of today's Drinks and Mics. Let's give ourselves a round of applause, please. Yeah. Thank you all so much. Yeah. So, of course, I did mention earlier that we do have, a lot of people who made this possible. Of course, want to thank the guys that you're seeing behind the camera here, the Nairametrics crew. Thank you so much. A round of applause to them. These are the guys that makes Drinks and Mics very possible. These guys basically stay late every whenever we record and then get home pretty late. But as well, very importantly, we do have partners, people who made this show, very possible for us. Apart from our regular, partners here, I did mention CFG. I mentioned Lead Drop and Swan Water, Codros Capital as well. I know he's always going to drop that. Let's also just thank Bamboo. I think we have somebody from Bamboo. We had CEO of Bamboo here. Yeah, let's have him come forward, please. Just give us a talk. Thank you so much for being a part of this. This is a round of applause to him. We're talking about investing in stocks, and I know that there are probably some of us here who use Bamboo as well. So, yeah, how you doing, man? Fine, thank you. Let's hear from you.
Oh no, just wonderful nights. Thank you, everyone. I think on just shameless plug, the personal finance side, use Bamboo. We have US stocks, Nigerian stocks, treasury bills, and a bunch of assets on there that you can use to build your personal finance. And we have also like a lot of stuff that we do for rich people like you all.
like them.
So we have Bamboo Gold, Bamboo Black, where we curate the experience, your investing experience. So if you want to get started, after the show, you can reach out to me or my colleague who's over there. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much. By the way, personally, I've been using Bamboo for like 4 years now, and I have a sizable portfolio. I mean, in US stocks with Bamboo as well. So thank you so much for that. And of course, we also have Cowrywise, who also supported. And interesting that Cowrywise have basically morphed from. I mean, remember Cowrywise like years ago when Razak started this stuff, and it's incredible to see their progress so far. We have someone from Cowrywise as well. We want to give him a round of applause. Are you here? All right, let's hear from you, sir.
Now you.
Right. Thank you, everybody, and thank you to the crew of Mike's Amana follower and watcher of your show, and also converted my wife. So really want to thank you for bringing us on board. We are proud to be a part of this brand, and also in the realm of personal finance as well. I'll quickly say personal finance. I'll quickly break it down. Make money, spend money wisely, invest money wisely, protect your money, and give your money. And having said that, I also want to say that Cowrywise is one of the greatest aggregators of mutual funds in Nigeria. As of today, we have over 31 mutual funds on our platform, cutting across different risk acceptance criteria for investors. So that's from the moderate to the conservative and to the aggressive. I don't want to go into that. And you can always front load your income into a money market on the Cowrywise app while you think about what to invest in. That's what I do. That's really helped me, and I think it can help.
All right. So in typical drinks and mic fashion, I'll just ask you guys to indulge me. Let's just all stand up and just clink glasses with each other for being a part of this. Thank you so much.